How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is again Eric A. Kamiński, Ephemetherson. I am in Warsaw, Poland, Republic of Poland. Today is the 8th of August, and the time is about 5:45 p.m. In the last part of my episodes, there are going to be 4 episodes, or parts as you will. I talked about judicial system. Today I'm going to talk about banks. The next part is going to be about prosecution and prosecutors, and the next part is going to be about attorneys at law and lawyers. Of course, Polish lawyers, everything is concerned, everything is pertaining to Poland. And I will keep my concentration on the Polish affairs and of what's going on in banks. Now, banks in Poland, I didn't say Polish banks, I said banks in Poland, because most of the banks in Poland are not really Polish. I want to interject the fact that I am talking ad hoc again. I have no list, I have no pretext, I have no text, nothing like that. It's just coming out of my head, and I will try to compress this, as much as I can, to present it to you so you can understand of what's going on with banks in Poland. Just like in the last episode, I said that I was a victim of the judicial system in Poland. I am a victim and a slave of the bank that I'm litigating. And this bank is called PKOSA. Okay, everyone knows that bank, I believe, in Poland. It doesn't have to be, not everyone has to be the customer of that bank, but that bank has really done a bad thing to me. Bad things, I should say that in plural. Very bad things. In other words, it stole my money. Okay? How did that PKOSA steal my money? They had 4 methods. 4 different methods, The first method was to transfer my money from one currency to another. In other words, I was sending my money, transferring my money from New York or Los Angeles or Washington, D.C. to PKOSA. Now, PKOSA got that money in U.S. currency. Now they say that suddenly it changed into euro. I don't know how that happened, Now, in court, when I talk about it, I say there's no way that the United States of America sends euro. There's no euro in the United States. There are US dollars over there, okay? So, when the PKOSA got the money, they changed that money 4 times. They say 2 times. No, I counted 4. 4 different times the transition from one currency to another within the bank. Illegally, without my consent. I didn't tell them to do that. I didn't sign any papers. They didn't sign any papers. It was just like free will. We're going to do that to your money, and whatever you say after that, just go ahead and write us a letter. So I did. I wrote a letter, and they say, no, sir, we cannot give you the money back. I mean, in that transition, every single time that the transfer of money from one currency to another was done, it was a piece of pie, cut away, plus commission. I didn't know anything about it. They did that behind my back. Everything was done behind my back. That's one method. The second method was, I'm trying to compress this as much as I can. I mean, this is going to take a little bit of more time to explain of what the bank was exactly doing, and excuse me, please bear with me, just stay with me and you'll understand. As a U.S. citizen, the bank was starting to put me on a retirement plan. And I said, listen, guys, I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm going back to the United States. I just travel between Europe and the United States, back and forth, back and forth. I travel. Can't I do that? Of course I can, okay? So just keep my money and don't touch that. No, sir, we're gonna fix you with a great retirement plan. And I said, I don't need a retirement plan. I already got that in the United States, In the U.S., I've already got that. No, we care about you. And that's what they say, there's a lady, in the bank saying that, We care for you. Well, you care for me and you take my money? Okay, the next part of my money that was stolen, it was stolen. I will always claim that. It was stolen. Then they took taxes out of me. I said, listen, I already pay taxes in the States, I do everything in the United States. They suddenly asked me, what do I do with my money in the United States? What is my disposition, of my money in the United States? I said, that's not your business. You shouldn't care about that, because this is all I want you to do. When I opened up the account, that you keep my money. When I come into the bank, I pick up that money, and that's all you have to do. It was called an a vista, whatever, in this country, okay? That means on demand, I get my money. Okay, that's the second method, okay? The third method was that when my money, you got to understand that I closed the account. The money was still coming into that closed account. The bank account of PKOSA was closed. I shut it. Suddenly the money went into that account, it went into it. And I was looking for that money, and they were saying for 2 years that they know what that money was. I said, listen, you've got to find that money. I was coming into the branch office of that bank so many times, asking for my money. It was a large sum of money. It was a large amount of money. Till today, I don't know where that money is. Till today. Because in the United States, I never got a confirmation saying that they got the money back, because the bank said that they sent it back. They didn't send that back. Somebody stole it. That's all there is to it. The fourth method was that when they were looking for that money, they asked me for all the very sensitive information. My numbers in the States, my numbers here, everything pertaining to my body, to my person, okay? Even the scan of my U.S. passport was taken by them. Guess what happens? 3 weeks later, somebody gets into my account in the United States, in my American bank. Somebody breaks into my American account and steals my money. I mean, the bank in the United States calls me here, and I was in Europe. They call me, sir, did you draw that amount of money in such and such store in Florida? I said, no, I'm in Europe. Sir, there has been a fraud, some kind of a thievery was going on, okay? So I said, well, close my account, cut off my card and send me a new one, and that's what they did. But the thing is that I'm claiming and I'm accusing PKOSA of stealing my money there too. Somebody had all the information about me, and when you got all the information about a person, what happens is that the bank has to give you the money because you've got everything that they need, all right? So that's what happened. Now, the bank, okay, and the judicial system. When I started protesting against the PKOSA, okay, it was going on for quite a few months, and suddenly they said, we're going to take you to court. We're going to summon you to court. I said, go ahead and summon me. When they did that, I subpoenaed them. Like 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, so we had a reflection of each other, okay? One is suing, I'm suing the bank is suing me. They're suing me for defamation. Defamation, that means that I did something I defamed them, I did something wrong with their name. I used their name in a derogatory way, I was doing, I was saying, like not true things, that I was not telling the truth. Oh, you can't say we stole your money. I can't say that, And suddenly, they took me to court. Like I said in the other episode, the previous episode, my case has been going on now for 3.5 years, almost 3.5 years. There have been hearings. There have been some hearings recalled, moved over. I said that in the previous episode of what's happening with the judicial system, which is like it's despicable. It's just despicable of what's going on here. So we're processing each other, okay? What's happening, and then this guy is doing this guy is doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and everything. But I'm proving, and I've got all the proofs, I've got evidence, I've got true material, hard evidence of what they were doing with my money, okay? My money was missing here, so I showed the document. And I told them, where's the document that says that my money was transferred from here to there? They don't have it. They don't have a lot of documents. They don't have a lot of papers, stating that they've done something with my money, okay? And I can prove that exactly, I know what they've done with my money because I have evidence from the United States. So the judicial system, and the banking system is intermingled, okay? What's happening here is that the courts give the banks a safe haven. The banks in Poland are corrupted too, just like the judges and the judicial system in Poland. Polish judicial system. The banks, the foreign banks, came to this country actually to steal money because, because the law allows it. The law here is so loose, it's not specified completely, of what the bank can or cannot do. So the people trust those banks. Now, I don't trust any bank here. Now, in the United States, there are cases where a bank does something wrong, of course. I mean, you've heard of Mr. Madoff, a scam, pulled a scam, a big scam in the United States, stealing people's money. But there, they catch him fast, and they prosecute him fast, and they put him in jail fast. And here, it just goes on and on and on. And the banks they have a free hand. They have a free hand, and the law allows it. Like President of Poland, he met with the CEOs of banks a few months ago. And he asked them, why do you do that things? Because we can. Because the law is constructed in such a way that we can. Now, how can the government, maybe it was the previous government, I believe, now they're trying to change something, okay, and that's good. But the previous government allowed, it's like a free fall, you just let something go and just goes, and if it doesn't see the resistance, if there's no resistance, it'll go completely through. It'll come, completely through. So if there's no resistance, the banks will keep doing it. They'll keep stealing money. I mean, they do steal money. They know that. They know that. I mean, the society and the people know that. Now, the bank of PKOSA wants me to concede. They want me to make some concessions, I said, no way. I am not going to step back. I'm not going to step away, left or right. I am going forward to get you, you thieves in PKOSA. And another thing about the whole thing is that the court. What I did was I was protesting and demonstrating, picketing that bank. The court put a big fine on me, 10,000 Polish zloty. You're not going to get a penny out of that, out of me. Not one penny out of that thing, out of that fine, because you know why? Because you have not justly done that. I have a constitutional right to picket, to demonstrate, to protest against such dreadful and idiotic things that I do not want. I don't want that. So in this contention between me and the bank, I know I will win. I am winning right now. I told in the courtroom to a female judge that I am winning now. I have all the evidence. You cannot stop me from protesting, from demonstrating. And the next episode, I think it's going to be the fourth one, I believe. I'm going to be talking about lawyers. There's a lawyer of PKOSA. He's defending. He's a plaintiff and a defender. I'm a plaintiff and a defender at the same time, because it's a mutual battle here. Okay, it's a mutual battle. So what happened is that the guy comes into courtroom unprepared. He doesn't have the correct documents. He doesn't have certain, I don't even know what it was, you know, and I mean, I appealed to all that. But the thing is that he doesn't come in all prepared. In the United States, if I took a bank to court, that would be probably, it would not even happen. Do you know why? Because the bank would just settle out of court. You know, they don't want like fame. You know, they don't want fame about them. You know, about themselves. You know, a bank would just come in and say, "Listen, we'll pay you your damages. We'll pay you the retribution, and you know, and goodbye. You know, here's the money and goodbye." Because they don't want any publicity. They don't want any publicity. I mean, it's bad. You know, they'd rather pay and not lose any customers. You know, and here in Poland, they can do anything with customers and all the clients here. So the thing is that the lawyer comes in unprepared, and if I took a bank to court the same way, and a lawyer would come to court unprepared, the judge would rule in my favor immediately. You're unprepared. Come on, Mr. Kaminsky, you're winning. That's it, and that would be it, you know, and I'd win. And this sucker, that you know, I made a complaint against him, you know, to the right officials here in Poland, that he is not doing his job properly. I mean, he's basically disdainful, you know, he's insolent. He's very insolent, you know. They tell me I'm audacious. Of course I'm audacious, you know. I mean, if somebody does a damage to me, you know, and tries to screw me up, you know, I'm audacious. Yeah, sure. I'll just like them. I'll be disdainful, you know. And I don't care how I do that, you know. I mean, when I was in the army, a sergeant asked me, you know, I mean, I asked the sergeant, you know, I said, how do I do that? How do you do that, you know? And he says, I don't care how you do that as long as it's done, you know. So here I am. I don't care how I do. I don't care how I will go and win with that bank. I don't care what ways and manners I will take in order to win with that bank. I will win with that bank. And they will have to pay me all the damages and the compensation and the retribution that I'm seeking. I could ramble on. I could ramble on about banks here, you know, and I believe most of you know exactly what's going on in this country, you know, as far as the banks are concerned, you know. I mean, they're thieves, they're liars, they're cheaters, you know, and that's exactly what I tell them, you know, right on my banner, you know, that I'm carrying. You, in Polish, you're a cheater, you're a liar, you're a thief. Because if you steal money, you're a thief, man. That's it. You know, I mean, what do you call a person that steals? You know, you're a thief. Just like those judges that stole in stores. You know, they are thieves. They're not judges. They are thieves. So I have to say that, you know, I don't want to use bad words, and anymore, and I shouldn't, I mean, I want to be civilized, but the thing is that those guys deserve, be called thieves and liars and cheaters and things like that, I'm not bashful. I'm not bashful if I go out and tell everybody like it is. I mean, why should I cover myself with something that's not true? If I start pretending to be somebody else that I am not, or I am, or pretending, vice versa, So I'm not going to be Eric. I'm going to be somebody else. I want to tell everybody just exactly how it is. I want to win. I want to go back to the United States. I want to go back to the country where I was raised. I was born in this city. I was born in this country, But this country needs a reform. A total reform, an immediate and a radical reform, or reforms in plural. And the thing is that the judges and banks, they revile you. They are very disrespectful towards you. You're a customer. They don't care about you. They care about your money. They only care about your money. That's all. Okay, now in the United States, of course, like I say, there are banks, and they talk, I mean, I go in a bank, but the capitalistic way in banks in the United States, or in general in society, American society, is more civilized. There is capitalism there. I mean, the United States is the most capitalistic country in the world. Okay, but the thing is that there's like mutual agreement between a person and a person, mutual friendship. No one tries to just screw you over right away. They know you've got money, things like that, but you know what you pay for. Exactly. When you got money, you know what you pay for. You're not going to get any junk. So there's a word to these banksters. I don't call them CEOs, banking CEOs. They're banksters. They're like mafia. They're like somebody that doesn't care. I mean, they have like I said, a safe haven here. So they just sit in those places. Fat cats, getting fatter and fatter on Polish people's money, hardworking people's money, and what's happening is that the CEO Luigi Lovaggio of PK USA made 51 million zloty in 8 or 9 years. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I think that's a gross or maybe net. I don't know. But the thing is that you come in here, you grab all that money, and he made money on people just like me, because I've met many people that were stolen very small sums of money, very small amounts of money. But you know what? They will not go. I'm talking about the people, Polish people that had money stolen by banks. They will not go to court for 200 or 300. It's because they will have to pay thousands in order to get a few hundred back. Okay, so they don't go to courts. They don't battle. They don't want to. They just forsake that money. They forsake that money. And then the bank knows that and takes advantage of that. And they get the money, and that's stolen money. And what these guys did exactly was the fact that the money was not earned. It was stolen from all these people, okay? One by one, little by little. But the thing is that the whole amount just grows up to a big mound. And that's what it is, These guys are sitting in their chairs, smoking thick cigars and, just laughing at everybody. Guys, banksters, you are not going to laugh at me anymore, you fuckers, because I'm going to get you someday, all right? This country is not a place where you make money in a thievish way. Enough of it. I'm talking to you, banksters. You know who you are. You snide and perfidious faces. You know what? I would like to make you eat that money that you stole from me. You know how? I would like to change all that money that you stole from me dollar by dollar, just dollar bills, and feed your snouts. Feed your pig snouts. one by one. Eat that money. You son of a fucking bitches. That's exactly what you are. You stole my money. I'd like to feed you that money. I'll change it to coins and just put it right in your mouth, you know, in your snout, in your pig snout. Because you are pigs, you banksters. And the last words to you right now. Please, just please, fuck yourselves, okay? Now I can have a beer.